Hello, everybody. Aiden here, and welcome into today's episode of Around the Slice. So, after missing last week's episode thoughts of the pits, I am now the pit. Excuse me. I am now back from vacation, refreshed, and absolutely ready to get back into the swing of things. So, that being said, here we are again, once again as always, because last night, episode 13 of season 2 of the pit, titled 7 o'clock p.m., premiered on HBO and HBO Max. As usual, as always, I am here to give you my thoughts and biggest takeaways from said episode in this case. So let's get right into it. My first thematically big overarching takeaway that I always like to start with is these nurses, these doctors, really anybody and everybody involved as a whole specifically is overtired. They're ready to go home. Even someone like Giovanni, who usually springs into action and usually is willing to help wherever and whenever needed, is like, I'm not helping with that. My shift is over an hour ago. Like, and then Dr. Robby, basically says, you got to do this for experience. And then she jumps in. But even someone like her who's usually ready to pounce, if you would, quote unquote, pounce at any scenario possible, she's even overtired. Whitaker, Mel ran down from her sister in the deposition that went on. Everybody is just overtired and ready to go. And we'll touch on a scenario with Oglevee later that I think has a lot to do with it as well. But getting past the overarching takeaway, the big patient that was on display this episode, and there were a few other mini storylines here to follow, like Digby getting basically like made into a new man, getting his hair cut, getting shaved with his beard taken off by Emma and Dana, a few other patients here and there. The kid Grady, who had a severe asthma attack and had cardiac arrest, thankfully it was avoided. But for all intents and purposes, the one main patient on display here is the cliffhanger from last week's episode, Orlando Diaz. He comes in early in the morning last week. He's in DKA, which means he has diabetes. He had blood sugar of 500 something, I think it said it was. Not good. So he's in DKA, but then he comes out of it. But then Dr. Ohan urges him to stay. But Mr. Diaz is very concerned about his mounting medical bills. He doesn't have Medicare. He can't afford to lose a paycheck. So he goes on home before Dr. Mohan can give him his insulin and the drip and all that stuff. But then he falls off a building as a security guard because he wasn't out of the danger zone yet. And I guess he went back into DKA from what I could understand and gather. And it's not good. And he's literally fighting for his life this episode. Best case, he comes back alive with a disability. Worst case, he's in coma for quite a while. And then his wife, I don't see his daughter Anna come back. I think that was her name. Could be mistaken. But his wife comes back. And Dr. Mohan is clearly affected by all this. And Dr. Mohan had a panic attack a couple episodes ago because of her mother. And then she feels a very heartfelt reaction to Orlando because she was vouching for him with the Medicare stuff, and clearly she has a very somber reaction to this, and she spaces out and zooms out in surgery quite a bit when she's usually on top of it. And Dr. Mohan is usually very kind and very ready, kind of like Giovanni, to help out whenever and wherever necessary and what have you. But this, this clearly affects her to her core, so it'll be interesting to see how her mental state is going forward. A lot of these doctors' mental states are getting shaken up. Speaking of mental state, Dr. Al's lapses are becoming more and more frequent. We've been getting hints of this in breadcrumbs, if you would, throughout the entire season as a whole this season. At the end of episode 1, when she's given the charts and all the charting for baby Jane Doe, she clearly has some sort of drastic reaction to that, and she clearly has a PTSD moment, and it wasn't addressed. That hasn't been addressed since. And then a handful of episodes later, we see her going to the bathroom. She's getting stressed out, and she calls her, I think, neurologist office because I don't know what it is. Maybe she's just overwhelmed, assumably, but she has a neurology going on. And then this episode, she straight up spaces out. She's literally explaining something, and she just stops. Everyone's like, Dr. L, are you okay? And she pauses for a few minutes and seconds. Then she's like, yeah, Dr. Shen can finish setting up and finish explaining. Dr. L usually likes to have her finger on the pulse of literally anything and everything and what have you in this ED and the ER, the pit, if you so would. But yeah, she's spacing out. So whether it's Baby Jane at the end of episode 1, the neurology thing throughout the season, and now this is all coming to a head. So we have 2 attendings that are unstable. Dr. Robby, that's a scary scenario that we'll talk about. And then Dr. Ale. So really the night shift, 2 night shift people are Dr. Shen and Dr. Abbott, who really take control this episode, especially Dr. Abbott. And side note, I'm really growing on to the night shift. I especially like when the night shift comes in and combines with the day shift, but their day shift is going out, night shift is coming in. Dr. Ellis, and then the 2 attendings with Dr. Shen, Dr. Abbott. I'm just going to say this right now. I would not be opposed at all to season 3 being all about the night shift, taking place over the night shift hour, putting the night shift crew on full display. We've seen a lot of the day crew, obviously, with the first 2 seasons here and there, and stuff. But whether it's the new intern, whether it's Dr. Ellis, who went through a deposition just like Dr. King, so relatable in that scenario, or Dr. Shen, Dr. Abbott, who I think is just an awesome character. Every time we see him, he's a badass character. I would not be opposed at all to the night shift. And Mateo obviously transitioned from the day shift to the night shift. So seeing that would be kind of comforting for the audience, I feel. But I touched on it before with everyone being overtired. This is the only time I can remember in this entire season that comes to mind that Oglevee, I really care about what he's going through, because between the underhanded comments, between being arrogant, thinking he knows literally anything and everything possible in the world, I'm going to say this blanket statement right now, and it's been gearing up, setting up, if you would, towards this playing out and happening, but now this season is coming to a head at the end of this episode. I doubt Oglevee comes back for season 3. Emma realizes that he had blood over his face and is clearly, literally and figuratively worn down. Whitaker goes out and tells him about how a patient that he thought he had rescued, for all intents and purposes, had a heart attack and literally died on the scene in the hallway in the chair in the very first 3 episodes of season 1. So he tries to relate to him that way. But Oglevee alludes to the fact that he's going to want to trade, not that all medical fields are very stress-inducing and stuff, right? But he alludes to the fact that he wants to maybe change from the ED to primary care, ED to pediatrics, maybe a bit of a less gruesome, disgusting, stress-induced, environment. I don't know. Again, it's been building up towards this between the underhanded comments, between too smart for the AD, between people having to comment down, between now this, literally and figuratively being worn down. I doubt we see Oglevee in season 3, and I think they're just going to play it off as, he went upstairs. He's now in pediatrics. He's now in the primary care department, dealing with all that, less stressful and busy. But we'll see how that plays out. I want to talk about Dr. Robby before I get out of here today. Again, hope you enjoyed. But he says something at the end of this episode that really, really concerns me for his outlook and mental state, obviously. He's kind of having it out with Dana, kind of yelling back and forth at Dana and saying, I don't know if this emergency department can handle with this Dr. Ale being Dr. Ale spacing out now and again, Mel's deposition, Ellis's deposition, people missing stuff like Dr. Mahone and Oglevee, and then Oglevee being sent home by Whitaker. He basically goes through every step of the way that I don't know what they can handle without me. And come to find out that his friend Duke, his motorcycle mentor, basically buddy Duke, has a very concerning heart condition, a life-threatening heart condition. So he hasn't told him yet, but I assume that will play out. But one thing that concerns me for his mental state is at the end, Dana says, it'll be fine. Then once you get back, everything will be fine too. And then Dr. Robby basically yells, yeah, well, what if I don't come back? That's some heavy shit, guys. Unfortunately, I think we're gearing up toward Dr. Robby taking his life, attempting to take his life, an attempt on his life, an attempted suicide mission, basically, from this sabbatical. Very concerning. It's been gearing up towards that, but that was a huge red flag quote. What if I don't come back? Yelling to Dana, what if I don't come back? Now, what I'm wondering in the back of my mind, and I don't know if you guys are wondering this as well, how will that be addressed? Will we see the attempt take place on screen? Or will it happen off screen and we just hear it mentioned in passing, and we just hear it mentioned and addressed on screen and passing what happened off screen. I hope we get the closure of that, and I hope it happens on screen. We don't need every little detail because that's kind of a touchy subject, but I hope it happens and plays out on screen personally, just like selfishly for audience and writing sake. But if it happens off screen, I have no doubt that the writers will fill us in to the best of their ability because, again, the writers are very, very good at keeping us in the loop. But that's just a thing burning up the back of my mind. Table it for now, but these final two episodes are going to be wild, and literally and figuratively with the ED. Well, maybe it's starting to calm down, but the ED, the ER, the Pitt, whatever you want to call it, you name it. A lot of doctors' mental states. So how is this whole thing going to shake out? And I hope we see more of the night shift. And Dr. Robby, I'm very concerned based on that quote at the end that he yells to Dana. Anyways, guys, back from vacation. Those are my thoughts and biggest takeaways. Free-flowing conversation on Season 2, Episode 13 of the Pitt. We have the penultimate episode and then the final episode, obviously. So, yeah, we're always having fun and exciting videos coming out on this channel. But for regular scheduled programming that you can expect, every Thursday night, it's kind of sad, only 2 more times, but every Thursday night we have The Pitt. And then, after that, The Boys Season 5. Oh, I cannot freaking wait. The Boys Season 5 premieres literally 5 days, less than a week from now. And then we also have Euphoria later in the month in a couple weeks. Just an incredible. And then we have and then we have Daredevil Born Again going on right now. I'm going to catch up on that and then review it for you guys from vacation. And then we have the Punisher special coming out in early May. Just great time to be in the nerd culture. Outstanding time to be in the pop culture and television as a whole. Yeah, it's going to be incredible, both on the TV front and this channel front, reviewing and thoughts on all those episodes. But yeah, those are my thoughts on Season 2, Episode 13 of The Pitt. Let me know down in the comments below, what did you think? Is there anything I missed? Are you thinking what I'm thinking with Dr. Robby? Are you wondering, like I am, if they're going to show it on or just talk about it off screen in passing? How much time will they dedicate to that? And yeah, please like and subscribe to the channel. Let me know down in the comments below. You can follow me on Twitter at thirteenth for any additional movie/TV show. Like we were talking about the Harry Potter thing last week while I was driving up on the way to Florida for vacation. It was, I still maintain that doesn't need to exist, but it is what it is. So I thought it was pretty good for what we got. You can follow me on Twitter /X at thirteenth for any additional movie/TV show thoughts, discussions, and opinions over there. Thank you for the support. As always, please like and subscribe to the channel. I would love to interact with all of you in the comment section down below. I will see you on the next one. Goodbye.